Happy holidays, everybody, and thank you for being listeners of Harmony Talk, our podcast of conversations with dreamers and doers from all walks of life. I'm one of your hosts, Lisa Champeau. Today we bring you a special edition of Harmony Talk, a warm look back at the year we've just shared, and a glimpse into our hopes for the year ahead. As always, Harmony Talk is brought to you by the very generous A.M. Skyer Company, a third-generation family insurance business founded in 1920. You'll hear from Henry Skyer a little later on. You will also hear from my fellow hosts, Greg Frigoletto and Todd Stephens. When I revisited the interviews from 2025, I was humbled and honestly amazed by the diversity of our guests, their wide-ranging experiences, and the genuine joy and passion they bring to life. Listening again to their stories, what they overcame, the unique paths that led them to their dreams, one message came through loud and clear. Don't give up. Take Jay Jacobs, owner of a camp empire. As a young boy, he vowed that one day he'd buy the camp he loved so much. He worked his way up from camper to counselor to head counselor, and at just 25, he made that childhood dream come true, purchasing the camp itself. Or Dana Jokslikova, a young environmental scientist determined to rid the world of microplastics. She's constantly learning, innovating, and sharing her knowledge with thousands of followers across social media. Then there's Nancy Thody, not a professional writer, but someone who felt deeply compelled to tell the story of another writer, her mother. Her mother's books had gone out of print, and in researching and writing the biography ahead of her time, The Trailblazing Life and Legacy of Anne Head, Nancy discovered the depth of her mother's dedication to her craft and what a lasting gift that passion became for her children.
I learned how afraid she was. I learned how much anxiety she carried throughout her life, and she managed not to convey that to me. She was afraid a lot of the time. She supported us single-handedly, which was unusual for a woman writer of that time, and probably unusual for a woman writer today to support their family with no outside help. And so it was all about, was the story going to sell or wasn't it going to sell? We really were living hand to mouth. And she made me a partner in that. When the story would sell, we would eat steak and buy new clothes. And if a story didn't sell, we'd eat shrimp off the shrimp boats and for 25 cents a bucket, by the way. And wear last year's clothes, I'd take a cut in my allowance from, 50 cents to 25 cents. And we were partners. She had a lot of trauma as a child, with some of which we really don't, it's a mystery. We don't quite understand what the original trauma was, but she grew up with a lot of phobias and she chose a career that was anxiety provoking. So I learned that, and I learned how brave she was. I learned how she did not let her fears stop her. She persevered no matter what. I think that's one of the things I want people to take away from the book, that she was a role model. No matter what obstacles are in your way, no matter how much fear you have, you can persevere.
What drives someone to chase a dream that throws 100 obstacles in their path? Lisa Boo, another of our guests this past year, shared her insights on just this topic. Lisa was the first TED Talk staffer to be invited to speak on the main stage. While her childhood dream of becoming an opera singer did not materialize, she was undaunted and found a new calling in public media and global business development.
I have come to realize coming true of a dream or that kind of happiness, of that kind of fulfillment associated with those feelings are fleeting. What's most important, the process of pursuing a dream, even the process of experiencing the heartbreaking, like your dream shattered, it makes you feel you're alive. That aliveness, it's what we are here to experience as a human on earth. That's why I say that feeling is prevent you from becoming cynical, I'm just going to give up and do nothing. Nowadays, when I see younger people who I mentor, sometimes they're heartbroken, they feel very disappointed. I say, just fact, you're feeling that pain means you're alive. That means there's still juice inside you. You need to dig, get it out and make something out of it.
Lisa's zest for life, expressed so vividly in our chat, was irresistible. Thank you to Lisa and all my guests this year. I can't wait for 2026. We already have several fascinating interviews lined up. Individuals with stories similar, but different, from Jay's, Dana's, Nancy's, and Lisa's. Stories from the worlds of art, sports, science, social impact, and more. Lively, stimulating stories we hope will inspire and move you. Here's my fellow host, Todd Stephens, with his reflections on the year past and his enthusiasm for the year ahead.
Thanks, Lisa. We have the honor of the front row seat to hear our guests tell us about their journeys of dreaming and doing. It's really the best part of being a host on Harmony Talk podcast. This year, I had the pleasure of speaking with some truly wonderful people who all had remarkable stories of harnessing their passions to follow their dreams. Artist Mike Gino told me his success didn't come quickly, but he was willing to put in the work to make his dreams a reality.
I hustled for years, for more than a decade before I had this break. I was selling things on Etsy. I was making things that I could sell on eBay, and I was teaching as an adjunct, and I'm still teaching as an adjunct to a point. So I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was able to have the time to make my art. And I wasn't ashamed of selling prints of stuff. I would make a print of a painting that I sold, and I could sell it for $25 on Etsy, and that would make me some food money.
Kim Stevens became the CEO of her own real estate firm. Yet she learned her success came from listening to her inner self, and now she helps others to do the same.
I just really believe in people following their own thing, whatever that is, their own passion, their own highest potential, their own purpose. And so maybe I didn't know what that was, but I have always had like an urge or a longing to follow whatever that was for me.
Some guests see their dreams at an early age and start their lives in heavy pursuit. I spoke with Tyus Williams, an environmental scientist, author, and educator who never had a doubt about his life in the sciences.
I thought everybody was the same. Hell, when I was a kid, I thought everybody knew what they wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do since I was 6 years old. I thought when Jimmy said he was going to be a firefighter, I was like, all right. I was like, we all just know what we want to do at 6 years old. I didn't realize that wasn't normal to be like, still to this day, people are like, so you've stuck with what you wanted to do since you were a kid? I was like, yeah, it's never changed. And people are like, well, I've changed like 5 different careers. I'm like, wow. They're like, I would love to just have to be anchored that same way. Just have that conviction of being like, I know exactly what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it. I'm not changing. I didn't realize that was novel.
Other guests turn their lives around so dramatically, they may be unrecognizable today. Like ultramarathoner and now medical student David Millar, who started running as a form of therapy while in recovery from addiction.
I think a lot about other things I've been through where I've gotten that pit in my stomach and I thought I needed to quit, but then I ended up, getting through it and my life changed dramatically as a result. I think about times like those and I think about other people going through times like those that don't have the experience that I have of if you just persisted and got through it, that you would see that you were supposed to go through it in the first place. And beautiful things are born in dark places.
These empowering stories have convinced me there's no one formula for success and that dreaming and doing comes in all forms. After looking back, I'm even more excited for our new episodes in 2026. There is no shortage of people who have overcome the odds in pursuit of their dreams, and we'll keep bringing you their stories in the year ahead. Next up, host Greg Frigoletto will take us through some of his most memorable moments. And for all of you out there, thanks for listening and keep dreaming and doing.
As I look back at the interviews from 2025, I truly marvel at the incredible examples of going from dreaming to doing. More importantly, however, was hearing stories from people who inspired all of us to chase our dreams with intention, knowing that it won't always be easy, and to never, ever give up. Nicole Zaritis is a perfect example. It took overcoming the non-believers and hearing no a lot of times on her journey to becoming a world-touring, Grammy-winning jazz singer-songwriter.
Everybody else had said no. I said, label, no. Magazines, blah, 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 no. All of the accolades that you seek, they're just like, no. But who said yes? I should have thanked the fourth person, which I did at the top, my peers. Because we're fighting like the algorithm these days. There's no such thing as A&R coming to find talent. Like they found Roberta Flack, Les McCann, heard Roberta Flack singing in a bar. But guess what? Christian McBride heard me singing in a bar. So he pulled today's version of A&R by lending me his talent and his name so that I could try and fly for my 6th album. It wasn't my first time at the rodeo. I didn't go viral on TikTok and all of a sudden have a huge team. Like, this is my 6th try to get people to listen.
It's a brutal industry, and you alluded to in the last point I would make from your acceptance speech, you actually just spoke about, where you reference persisting and enduring. And for everybody else that's out there singing their hearts out in the back of a noisy bar, just a reminder, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to have grit.
Yeah, truly. The amount of imagining that I would do in the back of those bars, what stage I was on, while people were on their phones, while people are screaming and yelling across the tables. My imagination was stronger than the rejections that I was getting. And I think that's part of being a dreamer.
I also reflect back on my conversation with Bridie Thielen Heidel, an award-winning author, for her book, Bright Eyes, a memoir. Bridie shared her unbelievable story of bravery and resilience.
Well, I think when you're writing a memoir and you give yourself permission to finally tell the stories, in my case, they came out fast and furious. And there was so much that I had been holding in that once I started writing, I couldn't write fast enough. I actually had to do the Google tool where you can dictate so I could just speak to the paper, or I hand wrote a lot of it and just wrote and wrote and wrote. And I feel like as I wrote, I was telling myself the truth, and it was a truth that I hadn't really ever told myself. I had changed it. I had watered it down. I had certainly tried to forget it. And so I think that's how it came out at first, was here it comes, it's coming fast. And then I think I wrote it for the little girl in the book. And I think she deserved her truth to be told. And I'm sure there are things I didn't tell. And I'm sure because it's my perspective, other people, it's not their truth. But I think I did try to honor her. And I think there's also a sense I was trying to honor other survivors, because we don't tell the truth for so long that when we do, I just felt like I had to go for it.
And of course, the String Queens. The String Queens discuss their mission to inspire diverse audiences through their music, the importance of education in their lives, and the challenges they face as minority musicians in a predominantly white industry. All of these conversations were moving and inspiring.
Do I feel the weight? Yes. As we were speaking, I couldn't help but think about a couple of students that I have. Just been an amazing year. It's been an amazing year. Thank you, Kendall. One of my students, so I grew up in D.C., predominantly Black when I was growing up in D.C., and my mom told me, hey, I just want you to be aware that this environment is not the real world. Glad that you are feeling that, you are surrounded by your own here, but once you step out of D.C., it is a little different. And it was shocking at first until I did get out and just being in different orchestras in the area, in the DMV. So I'm one of those native DC people. It's DC, it's not the DMV. Mm-hmm. But when I did get out into the DMV, I was in a cocoon. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the first time someone says, how did you learn how to play? Yep. I've never seen you all. It crushed my soul. Mm-hmm. I had never been approached that way. And I honestly didn't know what to do at the time, but then my mom's words came back like, you better come on here. Mm-hmm. Right. This is the real world.
I want to thank all of my incredible guests in 2025 for making all of our listeners believe that dreams can become a reality. And now let's hear from our founder, Henry Schuyler, who will bring it all together with his vision of the new year.
Inspiring others motivates me. Creating opportunities for people to discover their meaning of life teaches me to live bigger and brighter. Happiness comes from community, from family, from a job well done, passion and respect for what you do and for the people you do it with. I'm Henry Schuyler. I'm a dreamer. I hope I never lose that 5-year-old within me.
A.M. Schuyler, a third-generation family insurance business founded in 1920.
We hope you have enjoyed this special edition of Harmony Talk. The holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or simply how the season is marked in your family or community, offer us all a time to reflect and reconnect. We encourage you to subscribe to the Harmony Talk newsletter, share our podcast, and continue to listen to the inspiring stories brought to you each week.